are with Stevie. Stevie, say hello.
Hi.
You can't see her because it's not aimed towards her. This is the reason why we don't go live together because somebody's always trying to steal my shine.
Do you see my half heart?
Okay, enough of that over there. So some of you might want to know what the title of this video is. The title of this video is Sugar We're Going Down. And I named it that because I don't want the rando BTS fans to come find this video and have shit to say to me because I'm not trying to have those kind of arguments. I'm trying to live a peaceful life. I just got through with a shitty job. I'm not trying to get into anything else that compromises my mental health. But the reason I named it that is because I want to talk about Sugar real quick. So by now, all of y'all have heard the news about the fact that he was um, stopped for DUI. He was attempting to drive what Hype said was an electric scooter, which turned out to be like an electric scooter for real, not like one of those ones that not the city scooters that you see that have like the stick and you can go. No, he was stopped trying to basically be on a moped, you know? But he was caught trying to get on his moped. He fell over trying to get on his moped. The police were like, "Yo, what's happening over here? Are you okay, sir?" And he's like, "No, I'm fine, just a little trouble." I'm like, "Oh, you smell of the alcohols. Have you been drinking, sir?" "Maybe a little bit. I had one beer." Like, "Well, you seem impaired enough from you tripping and falling that we are going to issue you a citation because we think you are attempting to drunk drive." And apparently it has come back that he was 7 times over the legal limit in Korea for alcohol intoxication, which that's a lot, guys. 7 times the legal limit is a lot. And as a first time, long time fan of K-pop, I can tell you DUI is not something that's easy to recover from. You can rape girls. You could be accused of harassing your ex-girlfriend. You can be accused of running a Ponzi scheme, tax evasion, but you get caught drunk driving, it's a very different social response. Anything having to do with drunk driving or drug abuse is like the worst crime ever. And so this is a huge deal. And this is not a huge deal that I'm exploiting because he's a member of BTS and I want to see his downfall. I actually have a very opposite reaction to that. I want Sugar to get treatment. Straight up and down. I want him to get treatment. I'm going to talk to you really briefly about my life, and my daughter is over here. She can corroborate the facts. My stepfather, who I've known since I was 2 years old, raised me, was what the world would call a functioning alcoholic, meaning that like he woke up and first thing he thought about was like, where am I going to get my next drink? And he basically spent his entire day in some form of intoxication. Now, fun guy. He was great with the kiddos. Good grandfather, a member of our family that even though I have my conflicts with him, he still thought upon fondly in a lot of ways. But he was what we call a functioning alcoholic from the time he was in his 20s until pretty much till he died. He had to drink. He had to drink. I remember when my daughter was really, really little, we all went together to an IHOP, and he's like, "I want to hang out with Stevie." At the time, Stevie was maybe 2.5, 3 years old. He's like, let her sit in the truck with Grandpa. Me and Stevie are gonna go for a ride. I'm like, "Oh, this would be cute." Literally, I followed them for 2 blocks. He parks his truck in front of a liquor store and leaves my baby in the truck. And I was just like, okay, so this is the last time you get to hang out with Grandpa by yourself. Because alcohol was what he needed to live. Now, my stepdad never got treatment for alcoholism. My stepdad never got therapy for his rough childhood, the things he went through. He was not the kind of man who believed in that kind of stuff. He was a man born in the mid 50s. That therapy, alcohol addiction treatment, all that kind of stuff was just nothing on his radar. He later died of cancer that riddled him from head to toe. Like, by the time he was months away from his deathbed, I took Stevie to see him one last time when um, he was stage 4 at that point. He was a man who was about 6'2", maybe. He might have weighed 120 pounds, maybe. He was frail. He walked with a cane. He walked slow. His cheeks were sunken in. We were driving through the reservation with him because he lived at the reservation at the time that he died, and he was in pain, constant pain. His bones hurt because the cancer had metastasized to his bones. So it was a horrible death. And what a lot of people won't tell you, because a lot of people don't think about it, alcoholism can lead to cancer. It's a thing that people don't think about. But prolonged alcoholism, combined with the fact that he also was a chain smoker, it can exacerbate cancer in people, and it can lead to your death. It led to my stepfather's death. He died of cancer, and he died alone. That's probably the most tragic part of everything. Now, I'm not saying all this to say that this is going to happen with Sugar. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying this to give you guys the background of my interactions with alcohol, alcohol abuse, regular alcoholism, and kind of where that has interacted with my own personal life story. And I say all that to say, I have a lot of empathy for Sugar. I don't think that he should drunk drive at all. I don't have sympathy for the fact that he endangered other people's lives because he thought he was good to go. Because my stepfather did that on a regular basis. He constantly was driving up and down the roads, blazed as fuck. Like drunk, 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 drunk. If you caught him at nighttime, drunk, 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 drunk. That's why he always drove big vehicles. That way, if he crashed into something, maybe he'll survive. But I say all that to say, a man being 7 times the legal limit and feeling the confidence that he could get on a vehicle and make it from point A to point B and be all right, I would I would say this is probably not his first time ever doing something like that. This is probably somebody who has always felt like I can handle my liquor. I'm okay. I do this all the time. It's never been a big deal. And he's in his 30s. I think international age, I think he's just right under 30, almost 30. He's way too young to be living a life where being that intoxicated on a regular basis is safe at all for him. And being that he's this young, it also means it's not too late to change his mind. It's not too late to get the help he needs. It's not too late to get the therapy he needs. It's not too late to reach out to people who care. One of the things I feel immense sympathy about for him in this, even though I know there's a lot of people who are hardline about drunk driving and like you shouldn't feel any sympathy for anybody because they're endangering other people. One thing I feel sympathy about is that I don't know and have never known anybody as famous as him. Never. I've met different celebrity types, but I've never known a celebrity. I've never known anybody that famous. But I've known people who've had money, and I've known people who've had expectations on them, and I've known people who drank because they could not handle life. I've known people who had drug issues because they could not handle life. They couldn't handle the expectations their family had for them. They couldn't handle the expectations that their community had for them. They couldn't handle the expectations that the people that they love had for them. And so they drunk in order to be able to handle life because they just could not handle life. And that's with just the bare minimum of let's get the mortgage paid, let's make sure the kids have clothes for back to school, let's make sure that the car's running and that there's gas money for the car. There are people who drink to be able to handle even those very minute responsibilities because in a lot of ways they're doing their best just to stay alive. They just cannot handle it. And Suga, any member of BTS, to be honest with you, has an expectation that is way higher than anything that anyone I've ever known has dealt with. I've never had the health of my entire record label be on my back. I've never had somebody look at me and call me the face of K-pop. I've never had anybody tell me that I saved their life through my music. Like, these are the kinds of things that this man and the other 6 men in that group deal with on a regular basis. People make all kinds of assumptions and they put so much projection on the members of BTS that the fact that they're not drug addicts, at least as far as we know, is almost a miracle because there is no one more famous in their entire country than them. There's not a single person in that entire country that is as famous as the members of BTS. And I know you're like, but what about the girls from Blackpink? No, the members of BTS are more famous. And because of that, They're living a life that a lot of us cannot understand. And of course, they can't risk their careers with a drug scandal. Like, that is something that absolutely, there's no recovery from that. But drinking to try to deal with being that fucking famous, drinking to try to deal with having those many expectations, drinking to try to deal with the fact that you can't have a real personal life like the rest of us because you don't know who's gonna not sign the NDA and then do an expose. You don't know who's doing this in order to be able to try to, set you up with a baby or set you up on a blackmail train because they know you're gay. Any of those things can happen. There's no safe place for any of these guys. Even when they go out of the country, they're so fucking famous that they can't party outside the country because people know who the fuck they are. And so everything about the self that the rest of us get to enjoy, all the things that we get to do in the dark and do in privacy, they do not get to do. And because they don't get to do those things, how do you handle not owning yourself? How do you handle not owning your own image? How do you handle not owning your own destiny in a lot of ways? Yeah, you got money. You got lots of money. And for those of us who are experiencing poverty life, money would solve all of my fucking problems. Real talk. Any mental health problems I'm suffering right now, money would do a hell of a lot to solve them bitches. But they're at a point where money can't solve what the problem is for them. They can only buy so much privacy. But people around them are incentivized to exploit their privacy. So they can't buy every person in their vicinity to keep these people from reporting on them or ratting them out to whoever, the paparazzi, dispatch, whatever else. So this is why I say I have empathy for somebody who would be that fucking drunk out in public and think they're okay. Because chances are he's probably been that drunk before and has thought he was okay and actually has been okay. There might have been times when he's been that fucking drunk and got up on a stage and knocked out a concert. We don't know. We're not there. But you don't accidentally end up 7 times over the legal limit trying to drive your moped for the very first time. That's not reality based. And so the only thing I want for him, the only thing I need for him to do is make a commitment to his health. It'd be nice if he could donate some money to some charities. If they got like a Mothers Against Drug Driving type of situation in Korea, donate $1 million to that because you need to. But more than that, please, please get some help. Please enter therapy. Please address whatever you need to do, and let your therapist help you make the decision of how much involvement in celebrity you can do to maintain your mental health. Let them be a partner to that, because maybe the level of fame that you maintained prior to being in the military just doesn't work for you anymore. Maybe having to go out on stage and sing fucking songs like Permission to Dance is killing you inside and you can't do that shit no more.
That's another thing I wonder, because I'm sure their label probably maybe sets them up with someone who can consult them a little bit, but
Mhm.
I'm wondering if even like those people are set up to want to like
Those
not give
people
them
are
the best
incentivized. Those
treatment.
the people around them are incentivized to basically patch them up and then get them back out on that fucking stage.
Yeah.
That's the way that that works. There's no one in the environment of Hive that's there to look out for the best interest of the individual member's well-being. They're there to look out for the viability of these people on stage, on records, during tours, during promotions. That's their number one job is, can you perform? If you can't perform, that's the wellness aspect that we're sent out here to protect. But in terms of you being a functioning member of society, we don't give a damn about that. We give a damn about, can you perform and can you keep from getting in trouble with the paparazzi. There's no one there who's really hired to make sure that like you're okay. And because of that, you need to find somebody who you are paying for to help you figure out if you're okay, because no one at Hive's gonna do it. Also, let's fucking talk about Hive real quick. Um, a lot. I'm gonna be quick about it because we got a movie to watch soon. But Hive has changed a lot. When we first encountered BTS, Big Hit was like, a label that, coming out from the shadows of the big three and just trying to make it and, fighting for our dreams and artistic integrity, blah, 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 blah. Hive is now Walmart. If we're talking about K-pop companies, SM might be Target, but Hive is Walmart now. All of the biggest acts, except for like Stray Kids and Blackpink, are on Hive. Because 17's on Hive, New Jeans is on Hive, Illit's on Hive, E Seraphim's on Hive, BTS is on Hive. Hive is Walmart now. Let's just be honest. And lately, Hype's PR team has been on that bullshit. The way they tried to set up Homegirl from Adore and did a terrible fucking job of that. The way just recently, Bang Shi Hyuk, founder of Big Hit slash Hype, was in the street with two fucking video models taking pictures like he's a fucking sex tourist. The ship is struggling right now. The ship is struggling. And Hybe, the only thing they're concerned about is protecting the image of the label. That's why when Suga came out with his own apology and said, I was on a scooter moped, I was caught doing this, I am very sorry. When he basically told the God's honest truth, Hyde came out with, well, he was on a kickboard, and he wasn't really on a vehicle, and it wasn't like you guys think, and he didn't get his license suspended, and they spun an entire fairy tale. And do you know what that fucking did? It made people hate him because he really earnestly tried to apologize, and his label came out with some bullshit fairy tale that made everyone think that this man is lying to us about the fact that he violated one of our social covenants. I don't know who's in charge of the PR department at Hive. Fucking fire him. Fucking fire him. Hire me. I'll work for cheap. But fucking fire them. Because honesty is where we need to be moving right now. Because the truth is going to come out. Because the police are going to release the truth. So what's the fucking point of telling the story right now? Tell the truth. So now that we've got that settled, Hybe is not Suga's friend. Hybe doesn't give a fuck about this man. They give a fuck about what he could do for them, but they give a fuck about him as a person. So now is the time that he really needs to get his shit together and hire somebody with his own fucking money to let him know, how can we keep you alive for another 40 years? Because speaking as somebody who has experienced a celebrity death that really shook them to the core, I don't want that for him. And we know that he suffered from depression in the past. He's put it in his music. He's talked about it. Knowing that he's had mental health struggles before the world got crazy famous for him, he needs somebody who's looking out for his life. And unfortunately, it's going to have to be somebody on his private payroll, because he's not going to find somebody who is going to do this for free, unfortunately. And he's not going to find somebody at Hybe who's going to do this, because Hybe is the one paying their salary. He's going to have to find somebody privately who's going to help him figure out how to live this life without possibly endangering his life and the life of other people. So that's what I have to say about that. I really, truly wish him the best, but you need to take a hiatus. I know you're doing a military hiatus right now, but like when you get out the military, don't come back for a minute. Like really just, oh hey, Ulysses, you changed your name. Just like go sit in the corner somewhere and just like really figure out your life, because I just don't want to wake up one day and find out that you died in a drunk driving accident, that you killed somebody while you were drunk driving, or that you took yourself out the game. I don't want that for you. So, I'm saying this with all the empathy I have, having grown up with a functioning alcoholic. It's not too late. Don't let it be too late. But that's all. Thank you guys. I appreciate your help. Please leave your comments in the comment section. I don't answer comments right away, but I do answer almost every comment I get. So, like, if I don't answer right away, trust me, you'll hear from me at least in a week or two. So, anyway, thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.